There's something unusual about the Sigma male. People often underestimate him, not because he's weak or slow, but because he seems unaware. He acts like he missed the point, like he's not paying attention. People think he's clueless. But then something happens. The moment he makes a move, the entire situation shifts. He knew what was happening the whole time. It's not a mistake. It's not luck. It's strategy. The Sigma male doesn't chase recognition. He doesn't try to prove himself. While everyone else talks over each other to sound smart, he stays quiet. While people push to be seen, he blends in. Not because he's invisible, but because he chooses to be. And behind that quiet face, there's a sharp mind that's watching everything. This isn't about playing dumb. It's about letting people believe what they want, while gathering information, testing loyalty, and moving at the right time. The Sigma isn't concerned with looking intelligent. He's focused on being effective. And one of his most overlooked tactics is letting people think he doesn't know what's going on, until it's too late for them to stop him. This kind of behavior confuses people. They don't know what to expect. One moment he seems distracted or distant. The next he's 3 moves ahead. And while others waste energy trying to impress, the Sigma builds advantage without ever announcing it. In this video, we'll explore the deeper reasons behind this behavior. Why does the Sigma male sometimes act clueless when in reality he's outsmarting everyone around him? What's the purpose behind this silence, this restraint, this delay? There's more going on than most people see. And once you understand the mindset, it becomes clear that every move has meaning. What looks like weakness is often a setup. What feels like passivity is really precision. Let's begin with the first reason. Reason number 1. Strategic understatement to lower guard. The Sigma male understands one of the oldest truths in human nature. People reveal more when they feel smarter than the person they're speaking to. When someone thinks they're the most intelligent person in the room, they let their guard down. They explain more. They relax. And they underestimate the quiet ones. This is where the Sigma male thrives. By acting like he doesn't fully understand what's going on, he gives others a false sense of control. He doesn't challenge their opinions. He doesn't correct their logic. Instead, he listens. He nods. He lets them talk. And while they're talking, he's collecting everything he needs. People are less defensive around someone they believe is harmless. And when they don't feel threatened, they expose more than they realize. Weaknesses, plans, fears, lies, all of it begins to surface when there's no pressure to hide it. The Sigma creates that space on purpose. This tactic also protects him from early confrontation. If he came out strong, showing his intelligence, strategy, or clarity, others might attack first. They'd compete with him, block him, or try to undermine him before he gains ground. But by appearing distant or unimpressive, he avoids resistance and gets more time to prepare. And it's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about using the flow of the environment. He reads the room. He sees who needs to be heard. He observes who thinks they're in control. Then, once he has a full picture, he makes a move that changes the entire situation. People don't see it coming, because they thought he was just watching without purpose. This form of strategic understatement gives the Sigma more control than loudness ever could. It creates silence where others speak too much. It opens doors because no one sees him as a threat. And it keeps him out of unnecessary drama that distracts others from what actually matters. When the Sigma finally speaks, it's not to prove anything. It's to shift the outcome. And by that point, it's already too late for anyone to prepare. Reason number 2. Observant listening before speaking. Most people are too busy planning what to say next to actually listen. They rush to respond. They talk over others. They reveal too much too soon. But the Sigma male doesn't fall into that trap. He listens. And not just to words, but to tone, energy, rhythm, and silence. He doesn't speak just to speak. He listens to learn. This kind of listening gives him layers of insight. He picks up on what's being said and what's not. He watches the gaps between statements. He notices when someone's energy changes, when confidence drops, when someone's lying but trying to sound sure. All of this goes unnoticed by people who talk too much. But the Sigma hears it clearly. When he does respond, it's precise. He's not guessing. He's not throwing ideas out hoping something lands. He already knows where the pressure point is. He already understands what the person fears, what they're hiding, and what they want others to believe. His silence wasn't emptiness, it was intel. People often assume he's not paying attention. They mistake quiet for distraction. But the truth is, his attention is sharp. He notices who interrupts, who exaggerates, who tries too hard. And by the time he speaks, he's speaking into the exact spot that matters. This makes him incredibly efficient in conversation. He doesn't waste words. He doesn't repeat himself. And when he asks a question, it usually cuts straight through the surface and into the part no one else noticed. That's the power of observant listening. It also gives him an edge in every setting. In work, he sees through office politics while others get trapped in it. In relationships, he sees patterns and motives before others recognize red flags. In social groups, he understands the hidden dynamics behind every laugh, every silence, every glance. Listening this way takes patience. But patience is something the Sigma male has mastered. He doesn't need to dominate the moment. He doesn't need to be the center of attention. He's there for the long game. And in the long game, it's not the loudest voice that wins. It's the one who understood everything before anyone realized they were being watched. Reason number 3. Avoiding ego exposure. The Sigma male knows the dangers of showing his full hand too early. In a world where people compete for status, recognition, and dominance, showing your intelligence can quickly turn you into a target. That's why the Sigma doesn't lead with his mind. He hides it. Not because he's unsure of it, but because he understands the risk of exposing it. This is where ego comes in. Most people, once they realize they're smart or skilled, want others to know. They want recognition, applause, and agreement. But the Sigma is different. He doesn't need those things. In fact, he avoids them. The more attention he gets, the more conflict it creates. And the more people know about what he can do, the more they try to stop him from doing it. So instead, he lets people think he's simple. He lets them believe he's slow to catch on, or just not interested. Meanwhile, he's calculating everything. He's watching how people react. He's measuring what others value. And when the time is right, he uses what he knows, but only as much as needed. By keeping his ego out of the spotlight, he avoids drawing attention to himself. He doesn't walk into a room trying to impress. He doesn't argue just to win. He doesn't correct people just to prove a point. This gives him a huge advantage, because while others are distracted by proving they're right, he's focused on being effective. This behavior also protects him from sabotage. When people don't feel threatened by you, they don't try to block you. They don't waste energy competing with you. They let their guard down, and in doing so, they give you more room to operate. The Sigma takes that space and uses it wisely. And even when others finally realize how sharp he is, it's usually too late. By then, the Sigma has already done what he needed to do. He doesn't need to explain himself or win credit. The results speak for themselves. Avoiding ego exposure keeps the Sigma male clear-headed and low profile. He doesn't waste time managing how others see him. He protects his peace, his position, and his momentum by staying under the radar until it matters most. Reason number 4. Letting others commit first. Timing is everything. In conversations, in competition, in conflict, who speaks first, who moves first, who commits first, can change everything. The Sigma male understands this better than most. That's why he often holds back. He lets others go first. He lets them show their cards. He waits. This waiting is not hesitation. It's strategy. When someone moves first, they reveal what they know. They expose their intentions. They show their strengths and their weaknesses. And while they're acting, the Sigma is absorbing. He's paying close attention to who does what, who says what, and how others respond. All of it becomes data. Once he has that information, his response is precise. It's not reactive. It's chosen. And that difference changes the outcome. In business, this can look like the Sigma being the last to speak in a meeting. He hears every idea, every opinion, every attempt at leadership. And then, when everyone else has revealed what they know, he steps in with something that no one else considered. It lands differently because it's built on everything that came before. In relationships, he doesn't rush to commit or trust. He watches how people behave when they don't think he's watching. He listens more than he shares. And in doing so, he avoids getting caught in emotional traps or fake connections. Letting others go first also allows him to calculate the risks. If something goes wrong, it wasn't his plan. If the path looks unstable, he knows to pivot. And if someone tries to manipulate or deceive, their own actions reveal the truth before the Sigma even needs to respond. People sometimes call him slow or passive because of this. But in reality, he's just deliberate. He's not moved by pressure or speed. He's moved by clarity. And clarity takes time to build. This tactic also saves energy. While others burn themselves out trying to control every situation, the Sigma simply lets them move first, and then uses their movement to shape his own. That's not weakness. That's power. Letting others commit first puts the Sigma in a position of quiet control. He may look like he's behind, but by the end he's often the only one who knew what was really going on. Reason number 5. Testing character and loyalty. One of the most underestimated tactics the Sigma male uses is acting unaware, not to gain advantage, but to reveal what others will do when they think no one's watching. This isn't manipulation. It's observation. He wants to see the truth, not the performance. When people think you don't notice details, they stop pretending. They speak more freely. They slip into honesty. They act in ways that reveal their real motives. And the Sigma male knows this. That's why he lets people think he's missing the point. He may ignore a backhanded comment or act like he didn't catch the subtle insult. He might laugh off something shady or act confused when someone tries to flex their status. But he's not missing it. He's logging it. He's remembering. And over time, he builds a clear picture of who's real and who's not. This method helps him separate real loyalty from false friendship. Because people are often careful when they know they're being watched. But they relax when they think the person across from them is clueless. That's when the truth leaks out. He doesn't need to confront every betrayal. He just removes himself. He doesn't warn people before cutting them off. He just moves on. Because once he's seen what's behind the mask, he doesn't forget. This tactic also applies to leadership. If the Sigma male is in a position of influence, he often uses silence and distance to see how others behave without direction. Who steps up? Who talks behind his back? Who changes when they think no one's watching? These questions get answered not by talking, but by waiting. People assume he's detached, but he's deeply aware. And that awareness protects him. It keeps his circle clean. It keeps his energy from being wasted on the wrong people. And it ensures that when he does build trust, it's with someone who's been tested, even if they didn't know it. By pretending not to see, the Sigma sees more than anyone realizes. And when he finally speaks on what he's observed, it's already too late for anyone to rewrite the story. Reason number 6, preserving mental energy and minimizing conflict. The Sigma male doesn't waste energy. He knows exactly how much effort he has each day, and he refuses to spend it on things that don't matter. This includes conversations, arguments, or situations that only exist to drain him. Acting clueless becomes a tool, not just for strategy, but for survival. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every challenge deserves a response. Not every moment requires full engagement. The Sigma knows this. That's why he often pulls back when others push forward. He lets people assume what they want. He lets small-minded comments go unchecked. He doesn't correct every misunderstanding. People see this and think he's soft or unaware. They assume he lacks confidence or clarity. But what they don't see is the decision behind the silence. The Sigma is not ignoring because he doesn't get it. He's ignoring because it's not worth it. This behavior protects his peace. It keeps him focused. It allows him to conserve energy for the things that matter, his purpose, his values, and the few people he truly trusts. And because he's not constantly distracted by noise, his mind stays clear. This also reduces unnecessary conflict. The Sigma male isn't afraid of confrontation, but he doesn't seek it out either. He understands that many arguments are ego traps. They don't solve anything, they just drain both sides. By playing quiet or acting like he's not affected, he diffuses the tension before it explodes. That calm presence is part of his strength. When others are throwing words, he stays grounded. When someone tries to provoke him, he stays still. That stillness frustrates people who want a reaction. It makes him unpredictable. And it makes it harder for others to control the outcome. Even in relationships, this shows up. He may act like he doesn't notice the games, but he does. He just refuses to play. He stays centered, focused, and distant enough to see things clearly. That distance isn't coldness, it's protection. Preserving mental energy is not weakness. It's wisdom. And the Sigma male masters it by staying silent where others shout, still where others panic, and invisible where others demand attention. By acting clueless, he avoids distractions. By avoiding distractions, he maintains strength. And that strength is what allows him to win without ever stepping into the mess. At first glance, the Sigma male might seem disconnected, too quiet, a little slow to react, maybe even unsure of what's going on. But if you look again, closer, you'll see something different. You'll see a man who sees more than he says, who knows more than he shows, and who plays the long game in a world that rewards quick noise. He acts clueless not because he's unaware, but because he's focused. While others chase attention, he gathers data. While others prove themselves, he protects his peace. While others speak first, he listens. And by the time everyone else realizes what's happening, he's already made the move that changes everything. The Sigma male doesn't need the spotlight to be powerful. His strength comes from what he withholds, what he observes, what he patiently waits to act on. And while people mistake his silence for weakness, They never forget the moment he finally speaks. That's what makes him so effective. That's what makes him so different. And that's why people who thought they had him figured out eventually realize they never even saw him coming. If this video gave you insight into your own mindset or helped you understand someone you know, leave a comment. Let others know what stood out. Share it with someone who might need it. And subscribe if you want to keep exploring the deep side of strength, strategy, and self-awareness. Because in a world full of noise, the one who watches in silence often sees the most.